Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Dan Liberto and I teach people to learn to love and accept themselves just the way they are. Today I want to talk about a very important topic, just like every other video, and that topic is letting go of expectations to ease suffering or to limit and diminish suffering. Now, if we think of what an expectation is, it's basically a virtual reality projection, right? It's an imaginary projection of the mind that an outcome will happen a certain way. It really is just looking into the future or projecting into the future. And it's creating an idea of how you want an outcome in the future to go. Now, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, who are following this path, that living in the future or living in the past is really not the way to go to achieve internal peace and joy. So expectation is living, in a way, in the future, expecting something in the future. And this does not work well. So, now we can deduce that having expectations is not the best thing for our well-being. Now, that doesn't mean to not have goals. Goals are different than expectations. Okay, goals are wanting to achieve something, to get to a certain place for personal growth, for personal enrichment. Expectations are expecting a certain event on a micro level to go a certain way. See, goals are on a macro level. They're like, okay, I want to get to this place, but you don't dictate every little step along the way of how you're going to get there. You just know that you're going to get there. Okay, expectations are on a micro level where it's like, okay, I need to control every little way that I get to the goal. So that's how these are two totally different things. Okay? And so what we want to do, instead of trying to control every little thing, instead of trying to have a certain outcome for every little thing, is we set a goal, a big goal, and we don't try to control how we get to that goal. Okay, so let me give you an example. It's very common. You want to get a job. And your goal is, okay, so your goal is to get a job. But you're expecting to get the first job that you apply for. Okay. So, what's happening there? Well, you're trying to control something with your expectation to get the very first job that you apply for. You're trying to control that you're going to get that very first job. You're trying to control an uncontrollable. Right? So, by trying to control the uncontrollable, then you're going to place unnecessary suffering on yourself if you don't get the job. That doesn't mean that you don't go to the interview. Okay, that doesn't mean you just give up. It just means you let go of the expectation that having that job is the only way. You broaden your scope. Okay? And so what that's going to do for the interview, actually, if you realize the fact that, hey, I don't need this job, there's an abundance of jobs out there. I would like this job, but I don't expect to get the job. Either way, I'm outcome indifferent too. Okay? What that's going to do is actually going to have a paradoxical effect of you doing better in the interview. A lot of this stuff is paradoxical. A lot of this is paradoxical, where if you really let go, and you truly do let go of the expectations, the outcome becomes better, becomes more real. It actually ends up happening. Okay? So, by letting go of expectations, and we're really letting go of control. We're letting go of controlling the uncontrollable. And we love to control stuff. But by letting go of control, we let go also of suffering. Okay? And let me tell you a few other things that letting go of expectations allows you to do. Okay? It allows you to be more flexible, more free, more open, less attached to an outcome, and more humble. Okay, how does it allow you to be more flexible? Well, let me give you this scenario. Imagine that you're going to a restaurant, or that you expect to go to a certain restaurant, but you're meeting up with 5 different people. And the expectation is, oh yeah, we're going to this restaurant, and it's your favorite restaurant. And you're really banking on that restaurant. Well, guess what happens? You meet up with your friends, and then the plans change, and they decide on a different restaurant. Okay? Now you're really let down, because you really expected to go to that restaurant. And this is a little less important than the job interview example, but it fits the framework nonetheless. It applies nonetheless. Instead, if you would have went to meet up with your friends and were indifferent to the outcome of what restaurant you were going to, and you're just ready to go with the flow, okay, wherever we go, I get to spend time with my friends and have some good company, and the food isn't the most important thing. Well, do you see how that lets go of suffering there? You just, okay. You're okay with what happens. You're okay with not controlling the uncontrollables. That's what it is. You're okay with not controlling the uncontrollables. Okay? And then it allows you to be more free. Why? Because you don't need an outcome to happen. You just let it happen. You let the outcomes happen without resistance, without pushing away. You just let things happen. There's no control. There's no need to control. That's what letting go of expectations are. Okay? Another thing is it allows you to be more open. Okay, so when you're constantly trying to control an outcome, when you're constantly expecting something to happen, you kind of narrow your mind, and you may be missing other alternative things that actually might be the right way to go, the right path to go down. But you're expecting to get that very first job. So maybe you miss other job opportunities. When you don't expect to get that very first job, you're more open-minded to alternatives. Okay. And a big part of expectation, a big part of letting go of expectation is really instead having faith that you're going to get to where you want to go. Just that you're not good. You're letting go of the needing to plan out how you're going to get there. Letting go of the need of controlling, okay, this is how I'm going to get there. Instead, just trusting the process and getting there naturally and organically with a lot less resistance and a lot less suffering. That is the key to letting go of expectation, is to let go of resistance, let go of control, and just getting to knowing that you're going to get to the destination, but not knowing exactly how. That's how you create magic. That's how you make magic happen, is by simply letting go. And so what I want you to do, the next thing I want you to do, is when you have an expectation, I want you to watch for those expectations. Watch for those expectations, okay? And the next time you have one, let go of the uncontrollables. So anything that you can't control within that expectation, let go. And become outcome indifferent. Okay, and then have faith that you will get to where you need to go, just maybe not in the way you think. I mean, how many times have you gotten to where you needed to go, or you've achieved something, but it isn't the way your mind planned it out to be? This happens over and over and over again. Or you think you wanted something, you think you wanted a certain outcome, and then it goes differently. And then you look in the past, and then you go, oh, that's why that happened. Okay. So you become more humble to that. you become more humble and you begin to understand, okay, I don't have it all figured out. And I let go of the need to have it all figured out because there's a bigger plan for me. Okay? And one last thing that I wanted to say to you guys was, when I was making this video, or in the process of trying to shoot this video, I'm not at my house, I'm at my family's house, I'm at my parents' house. And so I wanted it to be quiet, super quiet. I didn't want anyone to make any noise. I didn't want any distractions. I didn't want people walking around in the background, looking at me in the window, messing around. And all of a sudden, you know, I'm setting up the camera, everything, and I'm getting all ready. I'm getting my notes out, and all of a sudden, the vacuum clicks on. Okay, and and then then all of a sudden, boom! I realize, wait a second, I'm making a video on letting go of expectation, but I'm literally expecting things to go a certain way. So then, in that realization, I mean, it's just completely ironic, but in that realization, I let go. I let go, okay, I let go of the uncontrollables, and I told myself, this video will get recorded. This video will get completed. It will get done, just not in the way that I expect it to. So what did I have to do? I had to let go of that it needed to happen exactly in this way at this point in time. So in closing, I want you guys to remember, expectations lead to unnecessary suffering. Set goals, not expectations. Drop the way that you're going to get there and just go with the process. Go with the flow. Stop resisting things. Letting go of expectations allows you to be more free, more open, more humble, and suffer less. Instead of expecting things, trust the process and get to where you're going. Okay? Much love. Namaste. We'll talk to you guys soon.